Good evening, everybody. This is Mr. Mouse, and I hope you are all doing really well and are staying healthy and safe. Um, I wanted to create this video for you so that you will be able to successfully navigate and become better acquainted with the Music Flat IO for Google Docs program. Before we do that, however, and since I am strongly encouraging you to write your piece by hand before you write it with the Google Docs program, some students expressed that they are not very strong when it comes to writing music by hand. That's okay. I wasn't either. Growing up, that was not my strongest skill. It still isn't, to be quite honest. Um, I still have moments where taking the musical ideas I have in my head and placing them on paper um, can be challenging, which is why I am going to talk you through some of the basic things that I kind of want you to be able to do, or to be able to at least help yourself um, have, at least for you to have, so that when you transfer your physical piece to your, should we say, digital piece, you won't be making any mistakes, or you won't say, oh, I wanted G as my note instead of F. Okay? So let's go over that briefly. So here's our staff. Okay? 5 lines, 4 spaces. Got it. All right. The first thing I want to show you how to do is draw a G clef. Okay? Or a treble clef. G clef, treble clef, same name. Okay? So to draw a treble clef, and please pardon my handwriting, I'm using Smart Notebook, is you draw a straight line down, and then you draw a backwards S, and then you come around and you draw a loop-de-loop. Wow, that actually came out better than I thought it was going to come out. So again, you draw a straight line down the middle, you draw a backwards S all the way down to the bottom, and then you draw a loop around the G. Now, this is just for your benefit, okay? So you know what clef you're using. If you decide to write your piece with a bass clef, or you decide that you're going to write with treble and bass clef, a bass clef is like, you could do one of two things. Either one is fine. Just draw the 9 with 2 dots on E and G. That's fine. Or you could do this. You could loop and loop and then go down and then draw the dots in G and E. Okay? Either one is acceptable. Got it? So here's your treble clefs, and here's your bass clef. All right. Now that's out of the way. I'm going to erase those. Now we're going to talk about key signatures. Actually, you know what? I want to undo that because I want to keep one of those. I'm going to show you key signatures. Some people were telling me, again, actually this was many people were telling me, how do I draw a key signature? And what is it? we kind of didn't explain that very well. To put it shortly, a key signature, or the key signature, basically takes the sharps or the flats from the major scale, okay, and applies them to the piece. That's another way of me explaining it, okay? That's how it works. The role of the key signature, however, is to, for the whole piece, is to give the song some color, some life, some actual umph, okay? Some motivation, right? So when we create a key signature, let's say we wanted to create G, right? G major. The G major scale only has one sharp in it, okay? And that sharp lands on F sharp, okay? There's only one sharp in a G major scale. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. That's a G major scale, okay? And F sharp is that only sharp that's there, okay? However, if you were to do, let's say, D major, okay? Say I wanted to do D major. There's two sharps in a D major scale. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Okay, so D major scale, there are two sharps in a D major scale. Therefore, that translates to the key of D major. Ah, two sharps, part of D major scale, makes for the key of D major. Okay. All right. Maybe there's a little bit of connection other than having to memorize the whole entire circle of fifths, which was what my college professors made me do. Okay? You could do that if you feel up for it. If you feel like studying all of them all the way around, all, the sharps and the flats and the major and minor, um, which I did, feel free. But if you don't feel like doing that, you could simply figure it out this way, okay? So that's how you draw a key signature, and that's what they do, okay? The other thing I wanted to touch on very quickly, drawing your notes. Because I saw some of this, junior high students, I'm talking to you. I saw some of this back in elementary school when we were together, and I saw some of this a couple weeks ago. Are you ready? Okay. Saw some of this in a couple classes. Here we go. When you draw, sorry, again, I have an excuse. I'm using Smart Notebook. But when you draw your notes, here's what not to do. Let's say I was drawing G. Part of my note cannot be on G and then down here in F. Why? Is that note G or is it F? Most of you would probably say, well, that's G. I know it's G because that's what I mean to have it. Okay, you may say that right. I know that it's G because That's the note I meant to put on there. Okay, fair enough. Okay. So you might know that at that time that you're writing, but let's say you put this piece away, right? You let's say you walk away from your computer screen. You don't shut the computer screen, right? You just walk away for a second, and you come back to it, and you didn't remember, or you come back to your piece of paper. Um, Sorry, you're not using a computer screen yet. You come back to this piece of paper, and you're saying, now, what note did I want? Did I want G? Did I want F? I'm not sure. Um, that's not G. That's more F. Okay? This is more in F's territory than it is G's. Okay? So that is the wrong way to draw G. This, however, would be the right way to draw G. Why? Because the circular part, or what we call the note head, goes around the line for G as opposed to just part of in G and part of in F. It commits, and it's committed to landing on G. Same as if I were to say, okay, if I want to choose F as my note, the note head has to go in F completely. Okay, that may not be the perfect circle, but I know for sure that that note is in F. Okay, there's no question that it's on E, there's no question it's on G. I wish I had been taught that in high school or in junior high and not in college. Okay, just saying. Okay, with that said, now we get to the portion where we're going to flat IO. Okay, so flat IO for Google Docs. How to add it onto your program or to your to Google Docs if you haven't already done this already. If you have, feel free to skip ahead. Okay, you will need to go to Get Add-ons. So you'll go to Get Add-ons. You will type in the words flat for docs. Press enter. Click on it. It's in blue and white, a beautiful blue and white, I might add. And you will click install. Now, in the future, whenever you need flat for docs, you will go to add-ons, flat for docs, insert musical snippet. Again, you're going to go to add-ons, flat for docs, insert musical snippet. All right, so we've clicked that. So for your project, you need to choose one of two options, single staff or two staves. I don't care. If you choose the two staves and you create two solid melodies, one in the treble staff and one in the bass, you will receive 10 extra points. If you choose just the single staff, that's fine too. There's no extra points for that unless you create harmony underneath. But, all right, so let's, for our purposes, choose a single staff. Time signature wise, it's going to default to 4/4 over 4/4. Okay? You're going to want to click on that if you want to change it to something different, like 3/4 or 2/4, aka the marching band or the not the marching band, my apologies, the march time signature, okay? The marching time signature, because that's the one people march to. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? If you want to try 6, 8, be adventurous with that. 7, 8, don't recommend that. I mean, I love it, but it's a bit advanced, and I didn't teach you that, so you're welcome to try it, but you know, I don't suggest that if you're doing the you know, going from paper to computer program. Okay, so with that said, um, so if you want to change the time signature, you will have to click on one of these. So let's change it to 3/4. Okay. All right. It automatically did that for you, right? You didn't have to do anything that different. All right. We'll get to the rhythms in a second. I know you're thinking to yourself, get to the rhythms already. But I want to do it in the order that are the instructions on your project, which is the key signature. So you're going to go to measure. All right, measure. And you're going to click key signature. It's the sharps here, right here. Key signature. Here are all the possible key signatures you could possibly want in your entire life. Okay? G, D, A, E, you name it. F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, F flat, and trying to think of the last one. Gosh. C flat. Thank you. And brain block for a second. All of them are there. Okay? So you're going to click on the key signature, and it's going to pop up. Just like that. Say you clicked on the wrong one. You'll click it again, and just like that, you can change it. Okay? All right. Now, say you want to add a measure in. We'll get to that later. Okay? But while we're here, I might actually, you know what? While we're here, I might as well show you. Adding in a measure. Okay? It's going to do it for you automatically. But if you don't feel like waiting, if you feel like, I'm impatient, okay, you can go and it'll start adding measures for you. Okay, so if you already know you have to write 6 measures, or you already know you've got to write 5 measures, there you go. Okay, so now we're gonna go to note. Note. Here are your choices. And don't worry about the numbers in parentheses. They don't mean anything. Whole note, half note, quarter, 8, 16th, 30 seconds if you feel adventurous, 64ths, the quarter notes. Okay. Sorry, my sound's not on. Now, right now it's not playing sound. That's okay. It will. Because once you play it, it will play it after you go back to the beginning. Okay? And as you click each one. So there might be a little delay at the beginning, okay? But when you press play, okay, it will show you that, okay? Speaking of which, here are your button options, okay? Stop, okay? Play, which then becomes these options. Go back to the beginning, pause, which is, well, sorry, stop, go back to the beginning. Um, this, you can have the metronome count you in if you're clapping in rhythm. This controls your volume, obviously. And that's about it for the play buttons. So back to the rhythms. Say I wanted to change that to eighth note. Well, until you decide that you want that eighth rest, until you decide to put two eighth notes in, it's going to assume you just want one eighth note. So you have to do the work and put two eighth notes. Okay? Okay. Harmony. This is my next point. You want to create harmony. But you didn't want to create that harmony. I made a mistake. Remove an element. Okay? If you remove an element, is this X with the left arrow. Okay? To remove something is this X. Okay? This is like your undo button. It's going to be kind of your best friend. All right? It was always my best friend when writing this. Okay? Because I assure you, until you become a master at this program, you are going to make mistakes. Okay? And if you have a Mac like I do, the mouse is going to not be so kind to you. Okay? So like I said, you have to have two eighth notes. Otherwise, it's going to assume you want that eighth rest in there. Okay? And to undo anything, again, you got to press undo, and it's just going to put eighth rest in there, which is a pet peeve, annoying a little bit. But that's the way it goes. Dotted notes. Okay. Dotted notes. If you want a dotted note, you're going to create the rhythm in its natural form, like a half note. Click on it again. Then you're going to go to dot, and then press the actual dot. Okay? The note with the dot, the note head with the dot. Okay? And then if you press that note head with the dot again, of course the dot's going to go away. Okay? Yeah. So what I don't suggest you doing, okay, is creating dotted notes for your whole song. Okay? Not a good idea. It's going to take a lot more effort. And especially dotted quarter notes. That's going to take a lot of more time. But if you want to, I mean, more power to you. Let's see, creating anything else I need to emphasize. No, that's really about it. So if you have, I almost forgot. There is one more. There's one more element I do want to show you. Creating text. In order to create text for your piece, you have to do the following. You need to go to text, go to lyrics, which is the microphone and the little, it looks like an arrow almost. And then this little box will show up underneath, and then you can start typing. My song is the coolest. And for some reason it'll start playing the song. I don't know why. And then it go, even though I put a word on a rest, I don't know why, I put coolest on an empty measure, which, as you know, you're not allowed to do. I just broke my own rule. Say, Lovey, it's late in the evening. I can do that. Um, okay. So, that's. I know I just gave you a ton of information. Um, but I wanted to give you the basics. And no, I didn't go over everything. I gave you enough information that you could successfully begin writing this piece. Okay. Um, please, please email me if you've got any other questions. Talk to me in class. Okay. Don't just sit there and wait for the questions to pile up and you start being like, ah, okay. Talk to me. I will help you through this program. Okay. I've been there. Okay. Where I have had to learn a whole new music software program, and I've been like, what? I've used programs like Finale and Sibelius and MuseScore, and they can all seem a nightmare. But at the end of the day, they just come down to getting to know the basics. And if you can get to know the basics, then you're home free. Okay? All right. So, again, I hope everybody's doing well. You're staying healthy and safe. Um, and I hope to see some great pieces from many of you very soon. Take care.